Welcome, 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 welcome all to the NJCAA Match of the Week, sponsored by the Army National Guard between our current third place, Nassau Community College, and fifth place, Pennsylvania Highlands Community College. Nassau's current standing is 4-1, while PHCC comes in as the underdog today at 2-3. Joining me on the cast will be the fantastic, the handsome, it's Jag. How you doing? How you feeling, buddy?
I am doing great, Tristan. Thank you so much. And I mean, it's the match of the week. I was here about 3 weeks ago. I think it's great to be back once more. And as the regular season for this half of the year comes closer and closer to an end, every matchup counts. And like you said, there is a bit of a disparity between these two win-loss records. So that underdog team that's coming out of here, that Pennsylvania Highlands Community College, they're going to be looking to make a bit of a statement here.
Absolutely. And from my understanding, you ever diligently got the rundown on both of these teams. So give me a little bit of your commentary. How do you feel these teams will be interacting today?
Well, starting off with Nassau, the favorites coming into this 4-1. Like you said, this is their second year of competition overall, so they have some returning players, which is always helpful when you have been around for just a little bit. We'll be able to look at those starting rosters right now. They really prefer to run the Jet Silva Reina Omen combination, and then usually a Sage or a Cypher in between there. And they told us to look out for Narsh and Dilliwim as their two top fraggers. I think the biggest thing that I took away from them is that they have a diamond plat average, which is a bit higher than the black players on their side from Pennsylvania. They only have a gold to plat average. So I'll have to see how it lines up. I think the other biggest thing is that the other side, they like to run two Sentinel, two Duelists, and one controller. They weren't specific about what, so we might see some different looks depending on the map that they have. But, you know, that rank, it's a little bit lower. That might not be the end all be all because team play is more important in these situations. But the fact they've only been together for this season also goes a bit against them because they don't have as much time playing together.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's one thing that a diamond player knows, it's that if you go smurfing in a gold queue, there are some demons in gold. So you never know. You can't really let your guard down if you're against the gold plat lobby, whether you're diamond, whatever. Sometimes you just get rocked. And so they're going to be looking to make that upset happen on the side of PHCC. Now, let's take a look at the map picks here. We have map 1 as Ascent. Nassau choosing to go for that attacking side. Map 2 will be Bind. PHCC on the defensive, and if it should need a map 3, it will be Haven. Now, this to me does favor the Nassau Lions just a slight bit. Having the Sova one trick, having a Sova that you love to bring out in the lineup, both of these maps are fantastic for having Sova clear out some of those close corners, and so you get to avoid some of the maps like Split, where you can't really get quite as much vision down. And so tell me what you think about these two maps, and do you think we're going to be seeing any difference in the team compositions based off of the maps we're playing?
I think you brought up a great point about the Sova. Sova is great on most of these maps. I would say all of them. Haven, maybe not as much as some others because I feel like, maybe recon isn't as important depending on what set you're going for. But overall, yes, especially on Ascent and Bind, very good pick there. I think the biggest thing is when I talked to these teams earlier, both of them said they liked Ascent. So I think both of them are going to be pretty happy about that first pick. But it was only the Blackbears that said they wanted Bind, so they were able to get it. And the other thing is that Nassau, they want to be on the attack the entirety of this series, which is very interesting because usually the attacking side is the one that does a little bit worse. Maybe they're okay with taking a few round losses early on and then regaining them back on defense when they swap over. The one advantage they will have is if they do go to Haven later on, they will have that advantage, I would say, on Haven because Haven has 3 attacking points. So that's the best attacking map in the game currently, except for maybe Fracture. But who even knows what Fracture is like? Really have not had a chance to cast it yet. So they feel really confident, I would say, with the composition they have, which is, as they've said, just kind of one comp with minor variations. So I feel like they just feel it's better on attack early on than it is on defense, is my guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a different mindset as well. A lot of teams will like to go with the defending side early so they can rack up a lot of rounds, get their confidence up, and transfer that momentum into the second half to pick up the attacking rounds they need. But interesting. It's definitely a lot of it comes down to the mental game as well. So I think maybe just different mentalities will go for different strategies. But on your point, I am very happy we don't have to cast Fracture because man, oh man, that map is so confusing. That that map is so difficult to play, let alone cast. So I will be more than happy to stick to some of the more well-known map like the Ascent, as we see already the Killjoy being picked up here, fantastic on Ascent, no surprise there, can really lock down whatever site you commit that agent to, and the lockdown is invaluable. It's enough to just cover the sites in this map.
Well, could we see a breach? I haven't seen a breach in so long, and it isn't locked in yet from El Nino, so we'll see if it actually comes into fruition. But man, would that be interesting as we see Nassau having a little bit of fun, going for the Euro look all across the board. Isn't possible, not going to happen. And they've already kind of told us what they're going to run, so we'll be probably be seeing what we expect overall. They did not talk that much about a Sky, so it looks like they might be trying to swap things up a little bit here instead of a Sage, which I think is a great choice because Sky does heal, can't heal herself, but can heal everyone else, and has some of the best initiation in the game with her Guiding Light and Trailblazer. So we'll
Oh,
see if they
baby.
decide to go with the Sage or not. Yeah, I mean, this is the fun part about the agent select, Tristan. It's always either like we're big brain predicting these or it's just a complete bait.
I mean, hey, I love to see a breach locked in for sure. That is fantastic. I mean, and it's not like breach is unviable. You can see a lot of the Korean teams, Vision Strikers specifically, I think of towards the last tournament, making great use of breach, and because it's so little played in the NA scene, it's even that much harder to kind of predict what he's doing. You don't really have as many counter strats prepared for some of those Rolling Thunder engages. I like it. I like when teams are willing to get creative, and especially when it comes to these high utility, careful execution comps. I love seeing the ambition.
Yeah, and Pius here on the Phoenix. Phoenix, I would say one of the lesser played duelists overall currently. I feel like Raze is probably the second most or third most, and then you got Reyna is usually the second most. But I've seen him work out really well. I feel like in place of a Sky, he can do a lot of the same things she can, and then you also have the Breach as we just talked about, so he can do a lot of those stuns, a lot of those entry plays. But you're on the defense first, so really you're just going to be trying to deny space with these abilities. And Nassau, I feel like their comp is so good at entry with the Omen. You just throw in Shadow Smoke, then go in with a Paranoia, maybe a Leer as well, and then a Sage Wall. There's just so much entry potential here for Nassau, which it makes me realize, like, this is why they wanted to attack. This comp they have here, like I said earlier, might be built for it. It looks like it is early on.
And already you see heavy favor towards the B site. Nassau ready to spring into action, but already there's a breach waiting to get his stun down, leading into the pack. That's front runner Narsh already getting out, springing out, not really going to take a lot of damage. There is still a player left onto the site. They're going to have to deal with him, but Paint gets caught looking the wrong direction towards the back of the site. He will be laid to rest, and it's a 4v5 heading into the retake. Everyone gets to set up here. Pius already checking his back. They need to work out where the locations are first and foremost. El Nino going to flash them on into the site. No one really getting access just yet. They're all slowly being pinched in, though, hiding inside of the smoke. A Wild Cow will start things off with another frag. 3v5 as Dillywim will destroy the entry player. Scoozy is the only one so far able to get anything back, and he's already being traded. The bodies are just not there, and Usurper will take the throne for this round one.
Well, I like what you did there with Usurper. That was nice, Tristan. I really appreciate the wordplay like that. And there you just saw they executed their plan pretty well. They got on to the point. They forced someone off. Paint was caught off guard, alone there at back in the back of Boathouse, couldn't really go anywhere. And the rotation there just wasn't there in the nick of time. And here's the thing with Breach that I think I might be harping on a little bit. Breach has a lot of great abilities. The kit is very good, but a lot of his abilities have a delay. There's a bit of a countdown from when you press the button and when they actually go off. You saw there, tried to go for a stun and that flash is instant, but what comes after the tremor, not going to be instantaneous. Now Nassau has the buy that they want for the second round, going to have that weapons advantage.
Oh yeah, the classic creep up cat strat. El Nino will be the man on the front lines, but this is going to be a difficult task as the Leer comes in. The dash from behind from Jet, a crossfire setup. They're able to get the first. That's going to be at least money taken off the board as they do trade out 1-for-1. A side is wide open. Usurper will put to rest Scoozy before he can really make much happen. And it's going to be 4 men flooding onto the bomb site.
Spike planted. 4v3. I think the biggest thing is their Sage is still alive, so they could cut things off. Senso, great shot with the Marshall. And has a great positioning. I mean, they've cut themselves off with the door, but they have a great sightline right now with this Marshall.
Could be the flick, not meant to happen. Pius will be able to at least recover the gun. Probably won't be taking this round home, but hey, 2 kills. That's a lot more than you could really expect out of an eco round like this, but he is about to be met with a terrible fate. Dillywim just takes the initiative to go aggressive. One last headshot to close out the round. 2 players down, 2 marshals dropped, and so it's decent economic damage. I don't think you'll be too upset with that if you're PHCC here.
Yeah, it's interesting what they decided to do. I was wondering if they would just try to go for a full buy if you ended up getting eliminated last round on the side of Nassau, for you try to save for the full team buy next time. Sense does go with the Vandals, so them and Narsh going to be a little bit strapped for credits next time. Tells me Nassau, they don't want to go into this gentle night here. They don't want to give the bonus round up just that easily. PHC does have a bit of a weapons advantage.
Absolutely, and there's one thing that really struck me when I was I think it was from Shazam's stream where he was talking about bonus rounds and whether you should go for it or not. As we see a flash in, El Nino does it all himself. And they are not able to dodge that flash in time. He'll get a freebie, even aggressing for more. Round 2, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. We'll just fall back.
Really want to know what was said now by Shazam, but we'll get to that eventually. Just that time, like you said, do it all in one kind of play, gets the flash, times it well. Talk about the delay sometime with the breach abilities, but that time plays it like a charm. No one is there for the fault. They actually try to take over that cubby, and I do believe they got the orb through that engagement. But they lost one along the way. That's not the best trade in the world, and now El Nino might be meeting a 4v1 scenario.
He's going to hear the drone at the very least. Oh, he dodges it inside of the smoke. This could be huge. El Nino makes a massive play. Can't get the first down. A Wild Cow is playing bodyguard. That was amazing and well done to cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure your drone teammate isn't going to be exposed to the pushing player. And wow, that could have come down to the wire. He could have really disassembled that round all by himself. Now it's Shimmy Millie just kind of stuck on the outsides of the site. Can't really help the teammate Pius. He's got it all to do. Able to get the first. The second falls as well. Gets the man advantage for his team, but the bomb will be going down here.
Yeah, but this is not great. I mean, there is one person playing outside of Garage, which is definitely better than both of them playing the back of Boathouse. But if they don't catch out Sense, it is a great position. But if they do, then they're just completely cut apart
timing
from
is
each other,
everything.
but they don't.
The dart. He gets 1, 2. The third one inside of the boathouse. Does he realize that Scoozy is there? Hits him with the blind. He's going to hear all the spam coming out. He knows where he is. He can end this round right here, right now. Sense does just that. The 3K to finish it off, and that was a gorgeous play.
I was so worried they'd find him out and then immediately it'd be a 3v1. But no, the timing, like you said, perfectly. There's just enough recon there from the recon bolt to get that information online. They knew exactly where they were. No one was looking the way of this Omen. And I asked if that Vandal would be too much of an overcommitment. It was the perfect commitment there. It was a bit of a Frankenstein buy. I wouldn't say a thrifty run. I think it was actually pretty equal and all is said and done. But they get it. 3 rounds in a row. 2 ultimates online versus 1 right now for the Bears. Everything is looking great for Nassau.
Absolutely. And to go on that point of what Shazam was saying, as I say that, interrupted again, but a Wild Cow this time early on gets the pick, and that's going to set this round up for success. It's already in the eco. A 4v5 eco just makes it that much sweeter. But to go on that point, yes, Shazam, what he was saying was Valorant is a game where it only takes 13 rounds to win. It's not really a game where you can afford to just give up a round for free if you have the option of trying to force up and trying to win it, just because you don't have nearly as much leeway as you would in a game like Counter-Strike.
I was going to say, Counter-Strike, there's, I think, 16 rounds is what you need to win, so that is a little bit more leeway for you just to be able to give up rounds and build up your economy. The economy is not going to be what they want to build up, but Dillywim loses the Empress, and the dual weapon is still going to be on the ground, so they don't give that up. But this looks like a potentially winnable situation now for the Bears.
Absolutely, in paint. That was a disturbing headshot. He wants even more, but he is being watched by several members. They don't hit the first shot, but Sense able to follow it up. He readjusts and he finishes the job. As I say that, the rest of the kill feed is a sea of red. Looks like Nassau just feeling real comfortable on this first map.
And the Lions, they are making a statement 4 rounds through, 4 rounds won by them. They have a resurrection. They don't even use it because they don't need to. Their economy is healthy enough where they can just buy, or someone else can buy for the member that fell. They can save that res for a rainier day. Like this one, potentially when it is going to be equal footing, both teams can go for a full buy. But this is the problem right now for the Black Bears. If they continue to lose rounds like this, they're just going to snowball into the side swap. They're going to not be able. It's basically every other round they can buy, and that's only giving yourselves really half the chance to win.
Absolutely, and I do want to take this time as well. Point out we do have a QR code on the right hand of the screen. Feel free to scan that. Get yourself some free HyperX gear. Come on, guys. You know the best price is free. And with that, Dillywim an early fight, but El Nino, his presence of mind is there to check back at the last moment. He does have the ultimate ready as well. He's going to Rolling Thunder into the site. One player not hit. It's all up to the Jet to stay alive. Buy enough time for the rest of the team to come in, and Narsh, despite being tagged by the Rolling Thunder, still manages to land the headshot, and that cracks this site wide open. Pius has an idea that he's down here. The flash right in his face, but he's not looking the right way. Pius, oh no, it's a waste of the run it back. The rest of his team falling. This is disaster.
Disaster indeed. Only one person left, and it's Pius. The run it back only finds out a little bit of recon. They finally can take down Narsh, but it's a 3v1. The Resurrection's still online, and now they're going to be slowed by that Sage Orb. Do they run? No, they're going to try to fight this. They get sense. It's a 2v1, and they know one is back at Archway.
Pius is hitting some nice shots here, but this bomb is ticking away. He has to get on it eventually, and this is not going to be easy. One player stuck outside of the door, but Wild Cow immediately taking the swing, despite, you know, a pretty good sense that some people might fake that. Just all the confidence in the world on that wall.
Yeah, I think they were hoping that the element of surprise there from the wall would be enough to catch them off guard. The Sage obviously can wall herself or her teammates up, but it's not a play you usually take in a situation like that. You usually use it at the beginning of a round as opposed to when the spike's already planted and you're trying to defend it. But they're done excellently. You saw Usurper trying to go for the rotation all the way around. So if that wall hadn't worked out, that would have been really dangerous because it's a long flank, and a lot of the time, long flanks just don't pay off because of timing.
Yeah, definitely had me worried for a second there when I saw the door closed. Does not give the opportunity for the crossfire for the double peaks. But a Wild Cow, the shots ring true. He finds his man, and now Narsh. Ooh, that's an awfully aggressive spot. Does get tagged up by the turret a slight bit, but not too much for his troubles. Just a little bit of tit for tat, back and forth. No one really gets too hurt here as we see Usurper will get a good amount of vision with that drone. Calls a teammate over to fire up. Oh, but Scoozy right through the smoke. He's going to get his head removed from his shoulders. Stilly as well. Other side, he's going to finish off Paint. And now, just like that, the dominoes fall. It's a 3v5.
A is wide open, but they don't want to take A. They want to fight this.
Oh.
Usurper able to get another one. It looks like B is the domain they want. It's a 5v1. Only the Killjoy is left, but not for long. It is 1 versus the world. And El Nino cannot get it done. A flawless round from the Lions. And that is now 6 on the board. A guaranteed draw at least before the side swap. But I don't know if anything is going to be stopping them.
Man, oh man, and this is pretty tough. I cannot lie. If you're playing Killjoy and you're not able to get a single kill over 6 rounds, it's definitely a difficult spot, especially if you're on defense, because it's supposed to be where the Killjoy shines on the B site. But when your entire team is getting picked off one by one, it's not exactly the easiest task to hold off everyone. So, I mean, this is just the Lions trying to establish themselves as a top-tier team here. They're trying to prove that there are levels to this game and that no team, unless they're one of the top 3, can really have a chance against them. No one's really pushing them around as a team, but HCC, they might have a few tricks up their sleeves. I want to see what they do over these next few rounds, see if they bring out any of the specific strategies.
Oh, they do take out Narsh. That's a good start. Finally having a lead, but that resurrection is still there, so depending on how Lions play this, they could rotate and try to go for that. Instead, right now, they're just trying to take over Tree.
Oh, El Nino walks out into the open dry. Doesn't even bother using a flash. Interesting. Maybe he just felt like he wanted to save it for these site takes a little more, but he does pay for that with his life. A little bit of spam going back and forth, but it's actually the Astra who gets headshot. Nearly one tap through the wall. A Wild Cow now gonna hit one, res the other, and just like that, the numbers have been swayed, turned right back around. It is a beautiful play from Nassau.
They get the res, they get killed there as well. Usually you don't see the operator on a Sage, but they're making it work. They do take out Narsh again. There's still 2 ultimates for PHCC, Cosmic Divide, and
oh, come on,
I was gonna say the Empress, but that Empress is gone.
A Wild Cow choosing not even to shoot the leader. He just holds firm. Now down to Scoozy. This is not going to be the easiest task in the world. 6 HP, just going to have to evacuate. Gets to keep the weapon at the very least, so consolation prizes. But Scoozy, whoa. Feeling a little bit wild here. Tempting fate, even getting close to the bomb.
Yeah, no one coming out that way. So they're not going to find any exit frags, unfortunately, but they do keep the weapon like you said. But is it worthwhile? I mean, sure, you might now have a secret weapon going into what's going to be otherwise a save round, but it's really going to be tricky. Like, I talked about this a few rounds ago. This is what's I was worried about. It's just a snowball effect. Now, they can't even go, like, for full buys. They're just kind of spending what they can, which leads to 3 Vandals, a Spectre, and a Sheriff, which isn't terrible. You have 4 ultimates on your side, so this actually could be workable depending on how it goes. But you gotta find something early, and you gotta take a weapon away. Like, I think the biggest mission I would say is get a Wild Cow down so that Operator is not a threat.
It's a task, but it's a lot easier said than done, as we see Usurper already lining up some arrows in the trees to reveal most of the site on B. Decides against it at the last moment. There is a stack here. 3 members strong, as well as 1 approaching mid. If they decide to try and spring out, it could prove trouble. Instead, from the shadows, oh, the Omen gets behind everyone. Scoozy didn't even hear him. It's going to be 1 free kill. The second, just a tap. Oh, the trigger finger is patient, and it is deadly. Narsh is well going to chime in with one of his own before being traded back by Paint. 2v3, honestly, not a bad fight, but Dillywim, oh, these guys are really just assassins.
Now it's El Nino who went on a great flank, was able to get 1, but now is back basically where they started, trying to find something here at the tail end of A. The flash is going to give them away. Sense knows what's up, and Sense doesn't even need to be the one firing the shots. Dillywim gets 2 to end the round. And they also won the duel against Paint, who is the Reina on the other side, have the Empress up as well. So with Empress, your targets are outlined a little bit better. Your rate of fire is better too, but still not able to be the first on the draw there. That buy, it was a risk from PHCC. They were able to get 2 again, but they can't get the round win. And I think that's kind of the summary of this, is that they're not allowing a lot of flawless rounds. I think we've only seen 1 or 2 so far. But even when they get kills, they still cannot clutch up. They're usually still down in numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing moments of brilliance here from PHCC, but as it is right now, Nassau is just unstoppable, operating like a well-oiled machine. Everyone hitting their shots as well, and it's just so difficult to overcome that unless you do something crazy. And speaking of something crazy, Pius, he's going to find the bomb. They have to come back for it. He's going to hear this knife out. Oh, baby, it's a free kill if I've ever seen it. Pius will happily collect the first, and now he can just sit back, wait on the bomb, even activates to run it back to try and pin them in a little bit more. But if they can't hit you through the front door, they'll go through the back door. Instead of waiting for the bomb, they just run through the entire team, and PHCC, they only got 1 man left.
Pius alone, like I said, plays the spike. Now might be paying for their life for it. The round as well. It is a 3v1. The curveball does take out Dillywim and the Empress. But now you got to go up your positioning. So that spike will be picked up. And if you are Nassau, my guess is you're thinking, well, B's wide open. Let's just go there.
You're going to hear this for sure. They'll at least know where both the players are.
30 seconds left.
Well, Narsh, a little bit of trickiness running through the door, but that's actually going to siphon him off. It's going to be 2 1v1s if Pius can go through B main here. He'll hear the footsteps of 1. Sense just jumping around on the site. I don't think they realize how close he is right now.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, a labored spray there, but he is able to get the first. Now the second, forced to break the door. He's just going to take the fight. Pius has access to the bomb, gets tagged once in the back with the knife. He's going to bunny hop his way onto the site. He's going to hear these footsteps. He's reloading. This is his chance. A headshot to close it out. In the first round, they're on the board, baby. It's PHCC.
Better late than never. Enough time for that spike to be defused. It's still close, but it's enough. It's a clutch play. It's 4 kills from Pius. We thought this playing for the spike, it wasn't going to work out, but it actually is what does it in the end. Getting that early elimination, making the spike being planted so late. It's a great rotation, but yeah, that play that we saw come out from them, you were questioning it. I was questioning it too. Cutting yourself off. The idea is the sound cue of the door makes you think that no one is going to be there and mark it, and they thought maybe if we do that, if they're close enough, and they try to come mid, then we win that fight, we catch them off guard. But instead, they kind of just jinxed themselves there. Like you said, 2 1v1s. Unfortunately, that Jet, not expecting the rotation that came out. And now, is this enough for PHCC to get back into the swing of things?
Yeah, that round was pretty misplayed on the side of Sense as well. Just because if your teammate is watching both CT and Market, really all you have to watch is B main. And yet, Sense was caught looking towards CT. And so just a little bit of miscoordination there cost him the first fight. Dilliwim, though, starts this round off right. He's been getting the best of El Nino time and time again and just single-handedly breaking open the A site for his teammates. They can simply waltz on with the bomb if they want to. Instead, it's Narsh getting busy himself. 2 headshots out mid. Could go for a third. Have it. He's going to take all 3. And Sense chiming in as well. It is a field day right now.
And I had said just a round or two ago they hadn't had that many flawless rounds. After giving up one where they were up 1-3, they felt like they needed to make a statement. Well, the statement has been made. PHCC, again, the economy not good enough to stabilize. Double digits looks like it is very obtainable here in this next round for the Lions. Nassau could go up 10-1, and at best now they could go 11-1, which is very important for them going into this halftime swap. It means if they do get to that magical number, they could win the pistol round, they could win the next round, and that's the first map done in this series.
Hey, well, listen. It's 1 round on the board, baby. PHCC will not be silenced. Pius will, though, as an early kill takes him out of the round. Already a boost up with the operator, a wild cow, hunting for even more. Without their best player on the map, PHCC could be in some trouble this round. Already springing out through market. Gonna try and just bust through Shimmy Millie. Gotta be looking the right way, and it just doesn't work out this time. Side of the head shot out. Narsh gets 1, even at the player that gets the jump on him. I mean, they are just looking fantastic, crisp, clean, hitting all their shots.
Last round before the swap. This is the final buy that can come out. We're going to see Scoozy go for the operator. In this case, Poison go the Guardian, which is not something you see every day of the week. But we'll see. Maybe they're actually going to try to... They sell the operator. Now there's enough money for Poison to possibly bought something else. We'll see how that all ends up. Guardian can be effective, maybe. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so they're going to trade around. Now they're on equal footing. So that is... This is going to be what could potentially... is really a last stand here, because if they give up this round, then the win condition for the Lions is set up so beautifully going into the side swap.
Oh yeah, and especially defending side on this map, it's easy to at least get 1 round a half. You know, it's not something like a split where it's very CT side or just one-sided. It's relatively even, and so Sense actually getting a free teleport onto the site, there's just no one here to match him. So the only real defense they have is El Nino trying to set up some blinds, and already he's getting tagged up. He is losing to spam war handily, down to 6 HP. Has to retreat, tail tucked between his legs, but as I say that, he wants a bit more action. Willing to flash out, try and get himself into the tree room. Bomb isn't there though. Bomb's actually stuck on the other side of the map. It's a long trek they have to make if they want to actually get across here.
It's so important El Nino lives because they have the Rolling Thunder, so they could knock up everyone from the ground, make a plant not obtainable, at least for the moment. Get some stuns out there as well, but no, as they try to go for the flash, they fall. That's one ultimate gone, and so is the run it back immediately going to be leered.
Oh yeah, and even though the curveball will blind 1, Pius, he's got a player on the other side of the smoke. Sense even thinking about running through it. What kind of maniac do you have to be for this? And a dead one, that's what. Usurper is able to keep the numbers looking good for Nassau. And just like that, Harsh, he's going to help close this half out handily. 1 more will drop, and 1 more remains. Scoozy now, stuck on the outskirts. Not even close. This bomb's already taken down. You got to run onto the site if you want a chance. It's the last round of the half. No point in saving, buddy. You got to get out there, and already tagged up by the dart. Meeting 2. Gets both. The nice little spray transfer ever. I don't even know if Scoozy has enough time to defuse this bomb, even if he gets on it right now. This half is over. It's 11-1.
It is. Can you get the celebration? No, you can't even get the celebratory kill at the end. It was a great effort there. Great spray transfer, like you said, but just a little bit too late. The hesitation there. Unfortunate that they could not get anything else out of that besides the 1 round. And I think one other thing I'm noticing from PHCC is their ult usage. They're being very cautious with them. I'm not sure if we ever saw that lockdown come out from Shimmy Millie, which is one of my favorite names, I gotta say, ever in any game. Like that's a cool name you see there for an IGN. But that ultimate gotta come out. You gotta find out a way to combo it. It's a great combination with possibly a Rolling Thunder or a Cosmic Divide, 2 things that are also great at controlling points. And they got to use them, you know, really quickly in this half if they build any up, because, again, they lose 2 rounds here. That is the first map over in this series.
Oh yeah, not losing 2 rounds. Well, it all starts with the pistol. This is going to be pretty much the most important round for them up until now, as we already see some early aggression towards the B side. They're not really willing to get out just yet, but Dilliwim out in the open, headshots and dismisses the way. That's the power of Reyna, baby. You can take those easy early fights. As we see El Nino, he's on a solo mission to crack this site wide open, and he does just that. Now with the clear out, he's gonna get the bomb down. No teammates needed. He is solo right now.
One enemy remaining.
He's even got a second kill. Pyatt gets one. Shimmy Millie almost doubling her kills with the first of the half, and Scoozy as well. Everyone having to play their part here.
The parts have been played. The second round is now initiated on the board. There is a little bit of life left in them. This is really, really good for them going forward. It means that they should at least deny the... there's really no direct way right now for Nassau to win unless they have a really nice thrifty round. So here, this should be another round for them. Then it gets to the bonus round where things get tricky once more. But for now, there's a little bit of breathing room. They just cannot let this advantage they have in their economy go to waste.
Oh yeah, this is the start. You know what every comeback starts with? Starts with a single round, and nice dart. That's a ridiculous lineup there to catch all the players onto A using that little tile. That's going to prompt an immediate rotation. They should hear the footsteps. At least Narsh should be able to hear most of those players starting to rotate out. And now if he gets aggressive, it will be a Phoenix just sitting on the other side of the wall, hoping that someone gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And he might just get that. Narsh walks out into the open and into the waiting arms of Pius. As we see El Nino just trying to provide some safe passage for his teammates, shut the door, but there's a player up in heaven who will be the first to challenge. And Pius will be that man. He'll get his first two. Shimmy Millie does go down on the other side of the doors, gives up a weapon. That's a Spectre now, firmly in the hands of Nassau.
Great advantage. They do have a siege to heal up their Sova, but just as I say that the Sova is gone, I think the healing orb did come out as you see that health bar taking back up. But it's still a double advantage right now for PHCC. They have the better weaponry as well. Jump shots, gonna leave only one alive. It is the Omen Sense, not for long. And you said it only takes one round. Well, now there's 3 on the board. That's triple the opportunity to bring this back.
Exactly. That's how the stats work, baby.
That's how numbers are.
Yes, sir. And hey, look at that. They're actually all just willing to stick with the Spectres this round. They're not going to force up, which I don't know if I would exactly recommend the strategy. I don't think you can really afford to be giving up any rounds. I would be buying as much as possible because at this point, you can't really lose rounds. You have to just keep winning over and over again. And now you're outgunned. Question is, are you outmanned? And this is a very confident decision they're going with if they want to keep all these Spectres. As we see, just the drone coming out. A lot of denial of the access using those Sage Orbs. And with that, 3 members have been rotating over to the B side. They could just abandon this completely. And as we saw last round, they actually have someone waiting on the... Whoa, Narsh, when did you get back there? He's got 2 hits. Hey! Narsh, when did you even get there? Now he has an opportunity for a 4th. He can just stop this round all himself. He chooses to reload at the worst possible time, though, and Shimmy Millie takes full advantage. Another kill on the other side of the map. It's a 3v1, but we've seen 3v1s won by PHCC before. It was Pius the first time. They call on Shimmy Millie this time, but Sense doing just that, sniffing out the play. The 3rd, the 5th Sense. Hair standing up on the arms, Spidey senses tingling, and heads being clean.
I mean, you called it perfectly. Why isn't PHC buying there? It's because they really can't. Only, I think, 1 or 2 people could afford to upgrade, and at that point, it's just an awkward half buy, so you don't want to commit to it too much. But now, even with that round loss with those credits from going to the grave, they can only afford Bulldogs on some of their members, which isn't great. So maybe that force would have been worthwhile, but you didn't want to risk it, not when everything was at stake. You can still battle back 9 rounds, get to that overtime scenario. It's 1 round at a time, and unfortunately you just lost your top fragger.
Oh man, from over the top rope, People's Elbow gets brought down in the form of a few knives, and wow, the numbers, the ranks just evaporating. Scoozy trying to do whatever he can to maybe fight back a little bit on the last round. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. They crumble, and Nassau, with the first map, looking dominant. That was amazing to watch, and they're proving why they're one of the top seeds in this tournament at the moment.
They're currently number 3 in their group standings, looking honestly like number 1 with that performance right there. Only dropped 3 rounds overall, got a few flawlesses along the way. Also a teammates at the very end, which I feel like really summarizes how this game has gone. Sure, they have had some standout moments from players here and there, but overall, everyone is contributing to the eliminations, and more importantly, everyone is contributing to the team plays they're making. One thing that they talked about was their coordination was more important than anything else, whether it came to mechanical skill or rank. They thought their coordination was at the top of their priority, at the top of what they exceeded at, and there you could see their success was based around those rotations they made, the ultimate combinations they had, and following up with each other. They just did a great job there playing the entirety of the map.
Absolutely. The team is greater than the sum of its parts, and really just a dominant map one. And I do believe that was actually PHCC's pick. And so, really, they have their backs up against the wall if you're PHCC going into bind here. This was Nassau's pick. Their team comp looks fantastic for bind. They're great at some of these short range, quick snap battles, and you really have to be on top of your rotations if you're PHCC coming into this next match because these teleporters can really take you through the ringer, especially if they decide to employ some of those trickier IGL shot calling strategies of pulling you towards one side, exiting the other. That can really mess you up. And going into this next map, do you think there's any specific adjustments that PHCC needs to make if they want a shot at bringing this match home?
I think I gotta play Jet, honestly. I feel like Jet, even with those nerfs that happened to her about, I want to say a month ago now, it feels like forever, honestly. But, she cannot use her Blaze Arm as effectively with the alternate fire. She doesn't have one less cloud smoke, but still, she's still the top duelist in the game there. They tried to go with a Reign of Phoenix instead. And sure, you do have a lot more of crowd control with the curveball, getting that stun, that flash with the Leer. But it's just not the same as the intensity with, I guess, the superiority you can bring with Dip. She's just so fast and she's so agile. She can get in and out of places quickly. So I think you need a little bit more of that, but we're going to find out before if that can happen after this break. So we'll see if they make those changes in just a few moments, but don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with Bind after this.
Welcome back to the NJCAA match of the week. Happy to have you back after what looked to be a very dominant map one from Nassau. How you doing, Jack? How you feeling going into this map two?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. It was still a pretty great matchup despite the score being a 10-round differential when all was said and done. There were still some great plays by the Blackberries. They definitely had some opportunities where they could have turned rounds on their head, won them when they were up by 1 or 2, or even when they were finding some kills at the end of rounds where they were down. They just weren't able to get that clutch factor. I think a big part of that was their ultimate usage and team play not being as good as we saw from the Nassau Lions, but it's a new map, it's a new day, and they did say that they feel pretty comfortable on Bind, so we'll see if they can turn around and make it a 3-map series.
Yeah, and one thing that I do notice about PHCC is that a lot of the times when they do get their kills off of utility, it's when they're using their utility for themselves rather than flashing a teammate in or blinding for a teammate. It seems to just be blind myself into taking a duel, and then I win the duel because you're blind. And so I would like to see a little bit more team play, especially when you use agents like the Breach. When someone brings a Breach out, you're expecting a lot of flashes for their teammates through walls. You're expecting a lot of setups with the Rolling Thunder. You're expecting, even fault lines trying to trap people into corners for their teammates to capitalize on. And so when you have a lot of these utility heavy or agents, I should say, sorry, the lead caster came out of means for a second there. When you have a lot of these utility based agents, you really want to be pairing them up with maybe a duelist, a Reyna that can run down, take advantage of the blind, of the fault line, and then dismiss out. And so I would love to see a little bit more cohesion there. As I say that though, we are going to be heading into this next agent select here, and hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more of these agents that can work together.
Oh, I really like the Rays pick right off the bat. I feel like this is one of Rays' best maps, so we'll see if they're able to find success with this pick this time around. Overall, I really like the PACC lineup. I think this works much better overall as a composition. And I think you brought up some great points about the Breach earlier. The Breach is great for initiation, but he really can't do it himself, unlike a Phoenix or a Reyna. We did see some plays where El Nino was able to step out and get some great follow-up shots, but in general, it's really to help get the rest of your team onto a point or into an engagement as opposed to just yourself. So the team play not going to be there this time. El Nino going to be going for the Reyna. As Nassau locks everything, they're actually going to be trying their hand at the Phoenix. So bit of a swap here. Not going to be running the Reyna is Dillywim, who did a pretty good job on it last time around. overall, these compositions have made some changes. And I'm wondering who's going to come up on top of this one. Again, Nassau going to be on attack the entirety of this series, no matter what map it is. And it feels like that's what they're gearing for once again. This Omen, great for entering sites.
Yeah, and El Nino, I like that he's on the Reina this time around, just because you definitely saw his play style. He definitely wanted to blind himself in a little bit more of the solo play, and that'll help him out. The Astra is definitely something to note here. I want to see this Astra set up El Nino for a lot of different plays. The Jet is now being brought out as well, but PHCC also picking up the Reina. Fantastic pick, especially considering their play style. You can get a lot more done solo with the Rays, I should say. And yeah, just the Boombot, really useful for clearing out things like hookah, clearing out market. I like what they're going for here, especially putting that on the top fragger from last game, Pius.
Pius going to be swapping over to the Rays. So again, still no Jet. I feel like that's okay, though. The Rays does have a lot of good momentum abilities. Her Blast Pack gets her up and into places you don't expect. And that's really where I feel like she has the most success, is raining her paint shields from above, where they can do a lot of AoE damage and just catch you off guard. We'll have to see how they play this, as Narsh just going to go for the fake out there with the dash. And so far, Nassau playing this very cautiously on this pistol round.
I do believe they're trying to draw rotations right now using all these sound cues. They're committing a lot of utility towards this too. This is 400 credits on a pistol round. That is not to be taken lightly. And it looks like they will at least draw one over. The bait isn't being taken too heavily by PHCC, but it's not going to be an easy defense. 2v3, make it 2v4, and as the teleporters come out, they start to realize what's going on right now onto the A site, and it's going to be Millie just trying to take as many shots down as possible. 34 HP left on one. The trade is in for the other, but Narsh, he's standing tall. He's able to give his team the advantage as we see many falling back. A third headshot to come in. El Nino gets his clock clean.
TikTok on the clock. The party does not stop for Nassau. Looking to take this first pistol round, but Paint does have a Sheriff. Could try to find some deadly shots here and there, just so they can find a hit, but no, they've caught themselves out there. The first shot misses, and they are completely in no man's land. Excuse you, gonna be running into the curveball. Wins out, though, blinded. It's a 3v1.
Yeah, not too happy about that one, I'm sure, if you're the Phoenix there, but hey, this pistol round will be cleaned up nonetheless. Scoozy, I don't even think has enough time, even if they were to run onto the site and Usurper just with the single burst fire. How is that a free gun when it can do things like that? The Classic wins again versus the more expensive gun. As we head into the second round, it is once again Nassau. I don't think they've dropped a single pistol round this entire... Actually, did they drop the second half pistol round for Ascent? Maybe. Either way.
They did, yeah.
Their pistol rounds are not looking too fallible here.
No, it was only after the side swap they lost one. It looks like their attack took a little bit, or the defense took a little bit longer to get going, which wasn't surprising because I feel like this comp, although it is versatile, is just a little bit better attack with an Omen versus an Astra, because Omen can't control a map like an Astra can. But pistol rounds now 2 for 3. And now Pius gonna have to run away.
Oh man, but being followed all the way through. Narsh has his foot on the gas and he is not letting up, even dashing forward, chasing him all the way through heaven. He's got a third. Narsh, chill out, buddy. You can't do it like this. The ace is on for him. He needs one more. He's dashing forward into the smoke, just pile driving it. He's got to pull his gun back out, and it's the ace coming in for Narsh.
What a time for Narsh. This Jet player really coming alive. I feel like they had hot stretches on the last map on Ascent here and there, but weren't able to do as well as some of the other players on their team. I think Sense and Usurper were the names we were seeing the most, but their second round only has a Spectre, gets the job done, gets all 5 kills after a very aggressive rotation through lights early on. And you could tell Nassau, they are feeling themselves right now after that first map. They are not letting any of that momentum go away.
And Narsh, there is only 2 kills in this game that have not been claimed by Narsh. This guy is on a mission. He wants to close this game out himself. Teammates or no teammates, as we see Pius. Oh, he gets met with a lot of aggression there. He's met with a lot of resistance. As we see the bomb buddy go out, we'll be able to snuff out the first. Usurper takes a bit of tag damage, and Pius able to get away without losing too much. That's going to halt this push quite a bit, actually. They're kind of getting stuffed here, and as a Usurper tries to get out by his lonesome, Paint cleans him up. This is kind of a miscoordinated hit here, as Pius could get a second. 28 HP on Narsh. This is the most vulnerable we've seen him over the 2 rounds already. Dashing out 16 HP. He's low. His teammates have dropped. Young XP is able to even up the numbers, but he's eliminated by the turret of all things.
Oh, that's tricky. Sense now has this Vandal, which makes things very dangerous. They give this gun up for free. It puts PHCC in a great spot to take the next round, which they're already guaranteed, but one less buy is great, and they just peek right into the Leer. It's now a Jet on their lonesome with so low health, but they're able to find one. Can't find enough, though, and that is at least one round for PHCC. Vandal going to be going to the wayside. Still have the lead, though. That was the bonus round. I kind of lost track of where we were in the game, to be completely honest with you. Third round goes their way. Fourth round coming up. This is where things are all even once more.
10-1 for Narsh. While Narsh is on the map, I'm always terrified for PHCC because Narsh at any moment at 6 HP is still a threat to win the round. As we see a little bit of camaraderie there, I'll call it, from Pius and Paint, just having a nice little party to themselves. As we see 3 strong on the B side, it appears they know this hit is coming. They're playing a little bit of mind games here, PHCC is, and they've read this perfectly. They're not really showing themselves just yet, trying to lure them into the trap to spring it. Instead, just the Astra smoke will be blocking them off. They're just going to drone right through it. They could be falling right into the hands of PHCC. Did they spot the Sage in the corner? That's the question. Or did they only see the first? Paint will be dropped. Scoozy plows through. He's going to trade it back. Wants to get the aggression going. And El Nino from the sidelines clotheslines one. Makes it a 4v3. Scoozy chimes in with one of his own. This is all falling apart for Nassau. Pius now will be the next one taking the duel. He's not looking the right direction. Usurper has 3. He wants 4. Reloading.
Oh, no
the headshot
way!
is there. The clutch happens. Nassau sneaks away around that never should have been theirs.
Oh my goodness, Usurper again, just taking the throne. I'm stealing that line from you. That's a good one. Just able to clutch things out. 2v1, doesn't blink. They saw a head peek out right above the crate for just a slight second. The biggest thing is, even though they were shot and they were stalled out a little bit, when you're shot, you can't move as quickly as you want to. They didn't panic. They just turned around. They held the angle. They got on one knee. And they just were able to find the shots they needed. They won that duel because of patience. Oh my goodness, you're completely right. They should have not won that round, but they did. And that lead, again, going to be 2 rounds.
Now they're all going short. This could actually be a huge flank for Pius right now. He has backline access. Scoozy just has to last for as long as possible versus Dillywim on full aggression. W key being held down here. Where is Pius? He's taken a while to rotate around. This could leave Scoozy alone. A sense takes him down. Now Pius finally coming in. Could get one. Oh, but the teleporter. Worst timing possible. Usurper turning around at the sound cue. Picks himself up the kill. And now he can just fall back to the rest of his team. It looked to be doable at first, but suddenly the round turned on its head just like that. El Nino now pinned in. This gun is not long for the world. Dillywim cleans him up nicely. And it's PHCC falling by the wayside in this 5th round.
Now, here's what happens once more. I told you I was worried about it on the last game, and this is where the snowball begins. Jimmy Millie's going to have to decide, do they want to go for the full armor and a lesser gun? It looks like they might just settle for a Spectre or the Bulldog. Spectre it is. So not the end of the world, because they still are able to get a buy overall. Narsh actually, the top fragger, can't buy themselves, so I was thinking maybe they got a Bladestorm online, but they do not, so they're just going to settle for a Sheriff. This is actually looking a little bit better in the Black Bears' favor right now, and they have more ultimate, so they're able to use the lockdown to dissuade a plant or to stop a defense once the spike is planted. This could be a great time for them to get back into this game.
Oh yeah, and that's what happens when you win some of these rounds by just a single man. You don't exactly get a lot of guns carried over into the next round. And with Usurper just barely winning out on the 1v1, they didn't exactly have the best economic situation. Now El Nino just popping the Empress, goes out into the open for a quick kill just to slide away. Kills back and forth on the scoreboard, but Scoozy keeps things even. Narsh as well, he's found the first head. Not able to recover the gun just yet. Usurper now, just trying to tag some people up. One shot hits for 80 damage. Oh, Narsh finally laid to rest, though, and that's huge. He's been doing so much damage to the ranks of PHCC, but now it's Shimmy Millie trying to take the fight. Young XP destroys the imposter. Oh, that gravity well prevents the plant. 40 seconds left on the round. They're going to have to get this down sooner or later, but it's dropped out into the open, and now Usurper doesn't hit the arrow, but he knows where the last player is. 2 headshots back to back. Yet again, Usurper, when he is left in these clutch situations, he will deliver.
And remember, I said before, I mean, Narsh, definitely the star in this one, has 11 kills, 1 assist, pretty great KD, first in double digits, but Usurper was the name you were saying a lot last map for reasons like this. That are just, you can't stop this person, they're just too clutch. Left alone to their own devices, you think of Sova, not the best hero agent because they don't have the same capabilities as a Reyna, as a Jet, even as a Skye, but it does not matter. When you hit shots, ability usage does not mean too much. Nassau could get at least a halftime guaranteed if they win this one.
Ooh, Pious, would you like some cheese with your wine, Mr. Narsh? Can't see the barrel poking out. Doesn't actually get a glimpse. He seems to be all the wiser to this play here, but he doesn't clear out the angle completely, and so Pious could still walk away with the victory here. He should see it now, but the jumping target is just too hard to hit. Flicks back around. Scoozy is able to take a number with him, but Dillywim quick to trade back, quick to put a stamp on this round, and with only a single member left towards heaven and only the pistol, this is a foregone conclusion. Usurper, another 3K. This guy is feeling himself, and the ball is rolling. 6 rounds on the board for Nassau.
And yeah, it's still, you know, there's still something that's found by PHCC, but we're seeing that even with some sort of semblance of what they want to do, they're still really struggling to get any momentum going. They still have those ultimates. Again, I really wanted to see that lockdown, and I feel like we've seen something similar on Ascent, just not coming out quick enough, not coming out soon enough. There's only 5 more rounds before the swap, including this one, and this is a time where, again, they're on equal footing. You want to win rounds like this so you can build up your economy, so you win 2 in a row, then you lose one, you can still potentially buy for the future. You can't just trade here and there. It has to be some sort of continuance of winning, but no, El Nino shut down. That's not the start you need.
Really win. He is so good on some of these opening duels. It seems like he is always getting the man advantage when he comes up against an early fight. Now Sense using the ultimate to get up top. Did they actually hear him get behind the ranks? This could be huge. Scoozy looks like he's wise. Narsht on the other side of the map, he's forcing the rotations, and now Scoozy has to protect his teammate against Sense creeping out, and Sense, the headshots just always seem to come flooding through whenever he is on the map. Jimmy Millie trying to go back for the kill, but Sense with another beautiful shot. 3 in a row. This guy is fighting every direction, and he is winning.
Flawless rounds, gets to save more credits. Now PCC, what do they have to do? They're going for, again, another awkward buy, a Frankenstein buy as I like to call them. So still able to get something here, but they're not thinking about the future in this moment. And they didn't take anything off the board, so the credits for Nassau, they could end up having 9,000 credits. Each individual player could have the max amount you could need, so they need to get more trades here and there. Even if you're not winning the round, you gotta find something. We saw that a lot on Ascent, where they were still able to win rounds, where they're able to get 2 or 3 people, even if they lost here. Haven't been able to find nearly as many eliminations.
Wild enough, Pious, the top fragger for Ascent, is actually 0-8 so far in this game. Not really having the same kind of success as we see Dillywim. The fast-paced aggression. Shimmy Millie is caught looking inside the smoke. Will get taken down. There is no protection here. Left in no man's land. She will get cleaned up. And with that, the site falls just in the blink of an eye. Sense already up top. He teleports himself for a more aggressive angle. And this guy in aggression. Is there any pair that goes better hand in hand? The last one will be knocked down. And it's a near flawless round. Nassau is going absolutely bonkers.
Continually just... And how else can you describe this Tristan right now? It is just absolute perfection for the most part on the side of Nassau. Very little mistakes. The first map, it felt like, yeah, I was praising their team play before, but they were still, you know, making a few errors here and there. They were still finding ways that PHCC could get back into the swing of things, finding opportunities, but now, Nassau, they've completely shut that down. They're looking towards a very similar scoreline. It could be 11-1 once more.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a clinic being put on right now in aim duels. Pious finally able to pick up his first kill of the match. That headshot comes through. That's going to build the confidence just a little more. And maybe confidence is what they need. Speaking of confidence, El Nino, you're feeling confident himself. Creeps through the smoke. Scoozy getting 2 of his own. We saw a fantastic spray transfer last map. We see another one here. El Nino gets his own headshot to finish off a randomly flawless round. PHCC, what happened? They're just feeling themselves out of the blue.
And a round like that can spark the fuse to ignite a comeback. Scusi at double digits now, finally able to get someone able to get there, and also have a positive KDA. I think the biggest thing I've noticed now is that Pius, on that Phoenix looked really good here on Ray, struggling quite a bit. I think that's why it's been a bit of a slower start overall, but it's something. 2 rounds more actually than you had last time when you were on the defense. You could deny double digits before halftime, and you still have 4 ultimates. So you rotate these well enough, and you could be able to win 2 more rounds before all is said and done.
That was an extremely aggressive angle from Scusi there. Able to draw out the drone. That's minus 400. Sense teleporting all the way into the backline. Is he looking the right direction? He is not, but Paint still can't make it happen. Sense is too quick on the trigger. Now El Nino is one of the only 3 left. Trying to get some spray out there. Wins it while blind. That is a bit of luck. A stroke of good fortune there as Dillywim does keep the numbers in the favor of Nassau. As the bomb goes down, Gravity Well will delay this for just a little bit longer. They've already got players set back. They want to make sure this is well defended. And with Dillywim getting yet another kill, Scusi is left all alone. Turret spotting him out, and Dillywim finishing him off. Taking his head off his shoulders for another round being posted up. Nassau gets their ninth.
Double digits now still on the table, but it doesn't give them the same win condition they could have had before, where you win the pistol round and then the next one and it's over. So it's going to be a little bit more legwork before Nassau can comfortably win this series, but they did shut down PHCC after they had a great attempt at a comeback, great round, a flawless round. Like you said, a little bit random, but that could have been a momentum train getting started. It's had a little bit of a stop now at the cooldown station, but those ultimates, like I said, they only use 1, still 3. Lockdown especially is still there, and they're actually going to use the showstopper, but there is no show stopped as the dash out there from Narsh, able to keep that Jet alive.
Show must go on as we see the A site completely cleared out here. Nice positioning from Nino there. I like that he's willing to stand out in the open to stop the initial push. Usurper as well getting taken down here. A man down, no run it back left available. That's going to stop this push, halt it for quite some time. The rotations are through now. As we see quite the stack here. Sense just spamming throughout the smoke, hoping to get maybe a lucky kill or 2 here. Pius now having him with a little bit of chip damage of his own, but as the smoke dissipates, they're left out in the open. Narsh gets 2 quickly. The numbers sway back and forth. Paint stuck in the corner. Paint finished off. 3 now for Narsh as he takes the round into his own hand. Wants the 4th. Pius is able to lay him to rest. Even a second on the board. Looking for a 3rd. This could be close. 84 HP separates him. Sense now jumping throughout the air. He wants this kill so desperately bad, but he's looking the wrong way. Pius gets fooled and he gets juked. Ankles broken. Round secured.
Resurrection 2, that and Lockdown, we never saw the light of day for either's ultimates. Could have turned, maybe not that round, but another one. So again, some of the same things that we said earlier, still haunting them a little bit. Good news of 2 rounds. Again, this isn't going to be done and dusted just yet for Nassau. They still have to win 3. Just a round would give them great momentum early on. Then they might give up a bonus round after that, but still in the driver's seat completely. Black Bears, they have to have something incredible here. I think with the Reyna and the Rays, there are a lot of great opportunities. This duels comp can be very, very deadly, but they got to get Pius going. They got to get Pius going now before it's all over, really.
Let me paint you a picture. They win the first round, bonus with it, 10-4. They win the next round, boom, another save. It's 10-6, and PHCC are back in the game. Now, I painted you a picture there. They have to act it out first. Unfortunately, Narsh is trying to remove their Hollywood contracts here as he comes out swinging. Paint is able to eventually shore him up. Pius as well getting 1. It's 3v3, but low HP in the Astra. Gonna have to take the heal. Oh, and look at Shimmy Millie trying to get back with the bomb. Actually gets taken out on the cross, and so they're making a mad dash for the A site, but hot on their heels. No lease of life being given here. Not by Dillywim. Usurper as well, helping him out. It's 1 kill apiece, and it's the first round being dominated yet again. Nassau only giving up a single pistol over this entire series so far.
475%. Now that's a passing grade, and I feel like that grade does not really exemplify how dominant they have been this series. That makes the win condition now so much simpler to put away this map in the series as well. That picture you painted, it was pretty beautiful, but I mean, it's going to be a lot more work to make it done. It's going to be a Bob Ross-esque sort of painting at this point to get back into the series. PHCC, think they know that their game life is on the line. So here they are going to force. They are actually going to be very equalized when it comes to firepower. And that might catch them off guard, but no, Usurper taking that
man.
team away. And
One
already
enemy remaining.
there's only one person left.
Oh man, right into the meat grinder as we see crossfires galore. You don't often see that kind of aggression. Pius now left alone. Pius now ran over. He was simply in the way, and Narsh didn't want him there. And so he's going to remove him. 12 rounds, one more from victory. A dominant victory that would really make Nassau just look like one of those colleges to beat in this entire league.
Only lost one game thus far this season, and if they play the rest of them like this one, that championship is guaranteed to be theirs. I really like the play from the Blackbears, though. I gotta give them credit. I think they were trying to go for a surprise there. They didn't expect to be... I don't think there was any expectation there from Nassau for them to buy, and they did. They gambled, it didn't work. They still can buy, though. They actually do have better weapons overall as the attackers than the defenders do. That's just because the defenders, they are saving for tomorrow if needed. Nothing's happened quite yet.
A little bit of dancing back and forth for Dilly Wim here. Does actually end up losing out on that trade. But man, you can tell how confident they are because he's got a Spectre, and yet he's willing to flash himself in to take an aggressive trade like that. Usually with the Spectre, especially against a spammable wall, you don't really want to be in that situation. But Narsh now, he's got the first, his teammate peeks with the crossfire for the second, already the third storming in. This is how quickly they're willing to move in on some of these aggressive plays. And you can tell they're not quite set up for it just yet on PHCC's part. Now El Nino does get away with one. Has to reload though, and on the other side of the board, Senses waiting with arms wide open. That's going to be the round. That's going to be the game. That's going to be the match. They're having a little bit of fun with it, but overall, this was a dominant, a wonderful, a gorgeous performance from Nassau, and they deserve all the credit in the world. They looked clean.
26 rounds to 5. One less round in the second map. There were some great plays overall. I mean, this was I would say, mostly one-sided affair, unfortunately. I got to give Blackbear some credit, though. They made some great things happen, especially on the set. They looked like they were in it to win it. It looks like they really could have brought it back at certain points as well. But here on Bind, it just looked like Nassau all the way. It looks like they were not going to be denied that 5th win of the season, and nor were they. Taking it pretty cleanly over well, and that's going to be one we're going to be pretty happy about as a team.
Yeah, if you're a fan of NCC, you guys can really be happy about what you saw today. Now, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going to a quick break, but don't go anywhere because once we're back, we're going to be having an interview with one of the players from NCC. And so you guys are not going to want to miss that. They are fantastic as a team, and you're going to get an inner look into the minds of their players. So don't go anywhere. Short break. Be right back. Welcome back, welcome one, welcome all to the NJCAA Match of the Week. We just saw Nassau have a fantastic showing, a dominant showing at that. Joining me again is Jag, and this time we have Narsh as well from the victorious Nassau lineup. How you feeling? How you feeling? First off, let me go over that last game with you, Narsh. How you guys feeling? Was there any is there any expectations you had going into this game today?
Our expectations was basically to let everyone feel around the map because we have a lot of experience on Bind and Ascent because we've been playing it throughout a bunch of leagues and everything like that. But our goal was to get basically kills and map control through everybody.
And that you did. I mean, you guys were all over the place. Everyone starting to get aggressive. Everyone having some moments where they were pushing really out to take any fight they possibly could. And so that's another thing I kind of wanted to bridge into. At that point, when you guys were all just pushing in your own sections of the map, were you guys just having a bit of fun? Were you feeling yourselves and kind of just letting your players be as loose as possible, or was that a set game plan that we may see come out against any of the teams in the tournament?
Since Valorant is more of like a momentum game, we were definitely just trying to push the momentum and then try, because when your momentum's up, your aim's up as well. So everyone's just getting their part, everyone's doing their part, and then everyone's getting their kills, getting map control. Everyone's just doing their own thing, but at the same time, we're all working in like a little team circle.
Yeah, that's absolutely, and I could see that from the way you guys got results from the strategy as well. Jag, do you have any questions you wanted to put out?
Yeah, so I mean, you had a great individual play on Bind on that last map. Second round of the game, you just get an amazing ace. I want you to walk me through that play and how you set it up and how you made it happen.
So I know that they were on an eco. So basically, a Spectre run and gun is kind of meta for Eco. So you just run and gun around the map. I definitely have my teammates back me up there with certain util and everything like that, and then everything kind of clicked together. Everything worked. They let me ace, so it was fun.
You were able to
Oh
get
yeah,
great
towards the end.
positioning. Just able
Yeah,
to
definitely.
run in. I mean, I was shocked that you got so far into their A site, honestly, but you did it. I got one last question for you before I let you go back to Tristan for any last thoughts he has. Uh, I'm just wondering, Usurper, your teammate, had some amazing clutch plays, had some, I think it was like 3v1, 2v1 at one point, was able to save a few rounds that looks like might go the other way. During those sort of rounds, what is the communication like with your team when there's only one person alive, and how do you guys help contribute to continue to help that one person win the round?
So we give him as much quietness as he needs to hear footsteps and everything like that, but we make sure we let him know where last we saw the enemies, and then we just let him work from there. We don't want to get in his way of anything like that. We don't want to backseat him.
Yeah, and after the clutch happens, you guys just erupt on the comms, give him all the screaming that you held in.
Yeah.
I love to see it. Now, one last question for you before we let you go and celebrate your team's victory today. Are there any other teams that you're specifically looking at in this tournament that you really want to face? Is there anyone specific, or is it kind of just go with the flow? Whoever comes up on the schedule is going to be it.
We're gonna go with the flow, but we do want to rematch Brian and Stratton because we lost to them.
Gotta
Yeah, we
revenge
do
that.
want to rematch
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Definitely, and we're gonna be looking for that then as we start to slowly approach playoffs. That could be a chance for a little bit of the redemption arc there, and we see you guys
Yeah.
getting better each week, and so it's definitely gonna be an interesting matchup to watch run back. But before we let you go, are there any final thoughts, any shout outs you want to give here?
Shout out to all my friends at NTC. Shout out to all my teammates, and shout out to Gina.
All righty, Gino, you heard it here first. You got the shout out on the live stream. Thank you so much, Narsh. Really enjoyed watching you guys today, and congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
And that just about does it for us here over at NJCAAE. Thank you so much to the Army National Guard for being our sponsors. Thank you so much for HyperX for being able to provide us that QR code to get us some free sweet gear. And I hope whoever got their names in there, good
Trying to
luck
point at
to
it
you. That's a lot of
somewhere.
great stuff you can possibly
There we go,
get. Now,
somewhere over there.
Jag, is there anything you want to give us before we're off for the desk?
Yeah, I just want to shout out EMP Live Productions, the crew from Hawaii who bring most of the events here that you see on your screen. Always doing a great job. I love working with them. I work with them a bunch. It was great working with you for the first time. Tristan had a lot of fun on the desk today. Congrats to both teams. Unfortunately, only one of them can walk away with the win, but both of them showed up and played their hearts out, which is all you can ask for. And I'm really excited to see how the rest of this season goes. We've got another match of the week coming up very soon, and I may or may not be there for it, but regardless, you want to be here for it. So be sure to hit that bell, be subscribed, or follow the channel if you can to see every sort of competition that we got going on here. It's a great place to be.
And with that, that'll be it for us in the cast today. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in and watched, and we'll be seeing you guys next week.